Welcome, everybody, to the Moving Letters AI podcast. This is part 2 with our guest, Austin Yarbrough. Austin, let's take it off here.
We've got golden nuggets falling out of the sky, how to grow your moving company using social media. And don't forget to download the social media playbook. Can I get a let's go?
Let's go! All right. So the next part of the playbook, series was some of the apps that you're using or utilizing to kind of like get the best results in some of your secrets daily. So talk to me a little bit about these options here and just give me a quick preview on like what you use them for.
Yeah, man. I think it's, all these apps here, there's, pretty much 6. My virtual assistant does use Adobe Premiere, so he is doing some of the editing of the content, but I have used Canva for it as well. And I think Canva, like all these apps, like pretty much $12.99, maybe Bitwarden's a little bit more per month, but like all these apps are like almost under $13. And half of them here are free to use. And so like Canva, I always loved Canva. It kind of gave me an opportunity to work like Photoshop, but like not so tech savvy into like Photoshop and do that. I've even tried to take courses, man, and I just felt like lost every time I attempted it. Captions is great for those so literally the app is called Captions, and it's great for like the subtitles on your posts. I think we use it for training videos and everything too. Like it's easier to understand and it looks pro. Then Google Docs, of course, is like just great for like, building these, just a free strategy to build ideal target profiles, branding, define your brand and company, your unique selling propositions, your daily checklists and your timesheets. Like that's like really important to build out. And then document as you're going, like week 1, this is what I did with my social media manager, week 2, week 3, week 4. And then you can replicate and scale that the next time if you have to rehire. Giphy.com, I really didn't go into so much detail about this. This is like those like little stickers that you can put on. Specifically, I like the Instagram stories, but you can use these like all over, like with your friends and, group messages on iPhones and other applications. This right here, Giphy, really makes you look pro. So, I mean, I honestly, like, I think Safebound moving is like, and maybe Pods and gosh, like I don't really know many other moving companies that actually like went and did the deep dive into the Giphy, dark layers. But it took me about 2 hours to like figure out like with YouTube videos like how to make these things. And then I used someone on Fiverr, and then my social media VA made a couple more. And you're making like these little, icons that you could throw on your story. And it's just like everyone uses them and they get a shit ton of views, by the way. It's just great for SEO. Bitwarden is a password manager, so it's just one we've used. There's other ones like LastPass. There's all sorts of stuff out there, but this is just what we used. And then Google Drive, we have a shared drive, and then within that we have like CCM Media. My wife's business is Cartside Cocktails. So if you guys want to follow her, go ahead. So like she's got a file in there because my VA does some work for her, and then you go into like raw files, raw photos, or raw videos, and then you have like different projects, and then we've got like completed folders, and then training video folders. And so that way you're like staying organized through this, because the worst thing that happens is like it's on your iPhone, it's in Canva, it's in here. Like you gotta have someone to pull it and then like confirm that I've used this video before, and just more of like an organizational strategy. And that's really like why I think like, a virtual assistant is really like, even taught me, things with like staying organized like that. It's a very organized culture with, a couple or, the Filipinos that a lot of us are hiring.
For sure. One of the apps that I don't see on here, Austin, is the classic pen and paper, man. Like handwriting, handwritten. Like obviously you're doing some of that, right?
Yeah, I mean, so I use not so much handwriting. There is another one in here. What was that one we were talking about the other day? It starts with an O. It's like
Opus Clips for taking like big long form content and just uploading it, quick captions. It's great at that. So something to look out for. There's even AI apps now that can even edit podcasts like this. I mean, it's crazy some of the stuff that's coming out there. So
Yeah, I mean, you put me on to like, I tried using like a scheduling app for some of my posts, and I wasn't in love with like the algorithms, but like you put me on like always. Matt has always been on top, dude. He was one of the first people talking about Chat GBT before Chat GBT was like the cool thing, Chat GBT. So if you guys do, dude, Matt knows his stuff. I mean, I'm gonna set up a podcast studio for local businesses and stuff. Just kind of talking about, what they love and what makes them special. And Matt's the go-to guy, for that. So this is kind of the pen and paper that Matt was talking about. I can show you guys right now. Obviously I have different like folders for different things. But my moving social media tips, like I just basically like put a bunch here with like the little bubbles in the iPhone, and then you can see like videos that I've done, and I've deleted some of the old ones. And then in the actual like social media sales playbook, I gave everyone 50 ideas of what to do, and there's such simple ideas like FAQs that clients ask you daily, your morning dispatch, like objections that you get every single day. That's a good one to talk about. How we protect clients' homes. Write down, what makes you guys different. And I think like the biggest piece of this puzzle with creating content is like being interesting or being informative. And so, like, why is this valuable to viewers or clients or referral sources? Because if it's value to their clients, they're going to be like, oh, well, this is good information, or this is a company I can trust. And so that's really what it is. I mean, it's a pretty simple like process. I have noticed not every mover is going to be like your all-star video, character. Like we've never hired actors because I like the candidness of like I'm a mover and we get them on stage. Like today we had Desmond doing a video and like we call him the secret weapon, and it was like a couple takes, to get him to say like I'm the secret weapon without me laughing. Because dude, he's such a great guy. And like um and so like, yeah, so like I recommend like having a little test shoot in your warehouse. Like, hey, tell me how you set up the neoprene or like how you build a small box. And I think that's a good test. And then like you'll kind of find your all stars that A, enjoy it, B, are going to be good at it. And then you just kind of give them like 4 main bullet points per video, and they're just elaborating on it because like they know what to do. They just like don't really know how to say it in a simple form. And that's really where you're like, okay, I've made this like, here's the list of 120 videos or 100 videos that I want to make today. And here's like the 3 bullet points in each topic that I want you to hit. And then just get creative. Don't try to script it out.
now, I think that's huge advice, Austin. Like just how to kind of get out there, shoot it, just great content ideas. I mean, I struggle with that implementation. So obviously you've inspired me to want to get out there and do a little bit more, maybe have someone on our crew that, and I think you talked about this the other day, like maybe you're not just the person, right? Maybe there's somebody else there at your company that'd be willing to, be the face or have multiple faces, right? And I think you've done that pretty well too with some of your people. Talk a little bit about this referral monetization strategy that you have here.
So yeah, guys, the social media referral monetization strategy. And so like I felt like I have not come across a consultant or coach yet that has broken it down in this format for me and just like really easy to like visualize and understand. Like, and I think flowcharts right now are going to be like the best way I can communicate with other movers. And, as I kind of self develop and start sharing a lot of the content that I've been learning, it starts with posting every single day. And I want to stop real quick and I want to challenge Matt and Moving Letters AI and I move to start posting every single day. Matt, can you commit to that?
I think I can. I have a video that I'm going to plan to probably post tomorrow. So yeah, dude, especially with this content, I think I'll have plenty of stuff to post every day. So thank you, Austin.
Heck yeah, man. I love that. And that's the thing, like that's one thing like Andy's been teaching me a lot. It's like the people that care about us are calling us out and being like raw. And it's like, is it like, one thing I've learned with working with Andy Elliott is like, can I be honest with you? And like, can we like be honest with each other and like really say some stuff that may hurt a little, but like help us self-develop and grow. Cause I think there are things that people don't say to us that they, should to help us grow. And I mean, like, this, like when we were golfing in North Carolina at a Lewis event, tell us a little bit about that, Matt.
Yeah, so that's my story of like the big call out, the big shift, right?
Yeah.
I think like before that for me, not only was I extremely heavy, I was drinking a lot, like not too crazy. I wasn't over the top, but I was, drinking tequila 5 nights a week as a stressed moving company owner. And I realized like Mark called me out and he's like, dude, you could hit the golf ball a lot further if you lost some weight. Now, maybe he didn't call me directly fat, but he did kind of say something like that. In all respect due to Mark here, you know what I mean? But I needed to hear that. Like, no one's ever told me, hey, bro, this is what's going on. I think like us as natural born leaders, at least myself and in my kind of like community and my connection of my friends and stuff, no one's going to like really call me out, right? That's just Matt, who always gets us together and plans all the trips and does all this stuff. It's like, sometimes you need that tough love to just like fire yourself up. And it just lit a fire in me that like nobody's business. I remember, we had done that event and we were to go to Louis Massaro's event in October. And I had that time in between. I got back. It took a couple weeks. I started waking up at 5 a.m., started going to the gym, working out. And I remember just being at the gym, just saying to myself, you, Mark, like,
Yeah.
to be blunt, but I was like, I was like, when I see Mark, I can't wait to prove him wrong. And obviously it worked out, man. I mean, I think he made jokes about me being in a Speedo or something. I don't know. We've had a good time with it, but like you need that tough love. And that's what I love about like even our group and, just being out there is that like, we're going to tell people the real, we're going to let you know like, hey, this is what's up, Matt. This isn't a good idea. And you've told me stuff like that. I've even told you stuff where like, hey, maybe that's not a good idea, Austin. Whether you take it or not, that's up to you. But sometimes we have to hear that shit. And I think it just happens too often enough that we just don't get tough love out there, man. So I appreciate you bringing that up. Mark, thank you for calling me. I'm not going to say fat, maybe calling me overweight because it inspired me to get out there. Now, I probably am still technically overweight. Who knows? But I obviously feel a shit ton better. And I've been off drinking for a year. So thank you, Mark. Let's go.
You look good, man. You look good. Shout out to Mark.
Marky Mark.
Let's go. So, okay, guys. So back to it. And, let's just dive a little bit deeper. Like that self-development side of this is that it's so important, like to have your why. Like, okay, why do I want to do social media posts every day? Why do I want to build this for my moving company? Like, because you care about this. You don't want to be here. What's as powerful as like maybe a negative motive as is as much powerful as a positive. Like, yeah, your dream house, your dream car, or this, but like, man, like I don't want to go broke. I don't want to have a bad economy and be, dying and selling my moving pads to companies that are growing, like I'm like, dude, like I would fight for why not more than I would fight for why. And, and that's just something huge right now. Going into this, posting every single day. So the whole reason I started doing this was like, obviously I talked about Grant Cardone and studying it and posting content on a line every single day. Like you'd see him in his, podcast and stuff. They're doing like Twitter things and he's like going live and then, like getting this interaction. And I was like, holy cow, like this is what I need to do. Like this is what like the top guys out there, like, one that comes to mind is like Piece of Cake Moving and Roadway. Like those guys are at the top level. And I know that they're posting all the time on all content. And that's what I got to do. Like, even if it's at this fraction of the level of quality, like, and I don't have the budget to be a social media manager and all these things, like, of course I love marketing and, whatnot. And that's what, the little degree over there was for. But like that is what you got to do. And the reason why you're putting this on all platforms is because some people have like, I'm kind of an Instagram person. That's my main go-to. It's most familiar with. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not a TikToker. And I kind of use Facebook, but I'm definitely not a LinkedIn. But there's people in all of them. Like if you talk to, my wife, she's more of a like TikTok, like that's what's entertaining her. And then, I'll have people come up like, oh, I see your stuff all over my feed. And I'm like, okay, well, which one? They're like, oh, TikTok. And I was like, great, I'm kind of posting on TikTok. Um, and so like with this monetization diagram, it's just a visual of like, and I really want to identify it's not all about getting to the clients. The whole goal of this visualization is that you are targeting referral sources, real estate agents, friends and family, employees, other pros in the industry, other, real estate affiliates, and then those people are then referring you to clients. And so like look at I always imagine like this apple tree, right? And so like I can spend, Google ads and get one apple, one move, one client, and hopefully get referrals and a repeat client. Like that would be ideal, right? That's one apple, maybe one, another, maybe I'll get like three apples from the one apple, or I could focus my energy and investment of time and resources into my 10x apple tree. And so now I'm making more apples. I'm making apples on apples. They call me Johnny Appleseed. Like the whole point of this is that to get massive levels of exposure because they're the ones in contact of your clients moving. And other industry pros, like I think this is another one that gets like slept on is that I've had more businesses like concrete and painting and stuff. They're the ones buying houses right now because they have businesses. They're doing the remodel stuff right now. They use you. Chamber of Commerce, get in their stories. They are connected to all the businesses. Troll all their followers. That is the ticket right now. It's like other businesses. Everyone thinks just real estate agents are going to give you the work. It's like, yeah, but they have a huge fence up. Other businesses recognize other businesses pretty quick on the level of care that you put into yours, and you're going to motivate them, and they're going to love talking to you about your journey, and then you can share them this playbook one day, maybe.
Oh yeah, let's go, man. So anything else about this diagram here that you want to share?
Yeah, and then the clients call you with messages and phone calls and website visits, but that's pretty much it. Post every day, get in front of more real referral sources, and then they refer you to the clients. Let the trickle down effect work and plant as many seeds as possible to grow as many trees.
For sure. Austin, I know you kind of have this 90% rule you've told me about in the past.
Yeah.
It's like 90% good enough. I got to shoot. I got to fire.
Yeah.
And sometimes I tell myself that too, because I can hyper focus and obsess over small details. Talk to me just quickly, what is the 90% rule? Because I'm looking here about my OCD and I'm looking at the space in between get in front of referral sources. What happened here, man? Did the 90% rule not apply?
So that is a great point. And that's something, I think that I struggle with as well. Like I want, like, even with a slide deck, like it took me like 10% of the time to make 90% of the outline and then 90% of the time to dial it all in. And that's the point though, is like getting things to a level of 90% good enough is literally how you're able to do it all the time consistently. Like it's a lot harder to get 100% on a test than study just enough to get 90. And there's a law of diminishing value of, really grinding out the last 10%. Like I want to say I have this here. This is like the new one, but I had this folder that I made, and I hired someone on Fiverr, blah blah blah. Like I got it to 90%. Like I literally got it into play. Like I remember Blake showed me it was Sunshine Movers. Shout out to Blake. Showed me the he had a packet like this, and I was like, dang, I gotta make one like that. And so like there on the first page there was like an area where or right on the inside that the QR codes didn't line up perfectly. And then there was like the QR codes didn't go to the right pages of like things. And I was like, killed me inside. But I knew that it was like speed to lead. How fast could I make the action? And it was in play weeks and months probably before then I would have gotten into play. And then it gave me an opportunity to then work on the next level after I got feedback on it. Like, here's one feedback in this. And if you guys are interested in this, just DM me, add Central Coast Moving on Instagram if you haven't already, or Austin Yarbrough. or Austin underscore Central Coast Moving. So I realized that like clients, they wanted 3 options. It might be backwards with the cameras. Sorry, guys. But clients are like, oh, yeah, I should get 3 quotes. And so, like, okay, I'll give you a quote with large furniture. I'll give you a quote with moving a 2-day move, and I'll give you a quote 1-day move. I'll also give you a packing quote and a full coverage valuation quote. And then here's some notes about it. And then right on top there, my name's Austin. Go ahead and take this pen and write that down. Let's go ahead. That right there is selling the deal. You're giving them options. You're giving them your name. You're giving them your number. They can write it and you get them like, give a command here, write this down. And like now it's a resource for them. And so that's the point of the being like, action is better than no action. And that's what I think that we all need to hear. And I'll say it again, like more action is better than less action.
Austin, that's a super awesome folder that you made. I think it's really sick that you're out there like just digging in and doing some different things. What about like content creation strategy? And talk to me a little bit about like this part.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is another great diagram that I felt like is going to really help everyone because, like, this is how the flow chart of how we collect content, process content, deliver content, and then go in and deliver it even further. And then, one of the huge areas I'll identify with like SEO in a second here of like how big this one area is, like how super valuable. And that should be a big takeaway from today. So go ahead and write that down when I tell you to. So we're going to go ahead and, capturing content. We're using a professional photo shoot. That's number one. Yes, every quarter we're doing a professional photo shoot. I'm going to take content of my own and shoot it weekly, daily. That's just me with my phone. I literally could make a video right now and throw it on the IG. And then I'm going to incentivize my team to capture content. And usually those are still photos, and you should reward them. Maybe $5 for like 3 photos each day. You'll have guys that love it and guys that don't love it, but that's the point of it, is it's not for everyone, but guys will participate. And then reuse and recycle content. Like, I mean, my aunt owns a flower shop in Santa Cruz, Seascape Flowers in California, and they reuse content all the time. Like, people don't, it's like, in your journey, like 1 year ago, you didn't have as many followers as you have now. So for half the followers, if you follow the 5-5-20 rule, they're going to be seeing this for the first time anyways. So, I mean, recycling isn't bad. You're throwing it into a Google Drive, the shared drive, and then you're going to process it. So we've got the AI assistant Opus. That's a big one. DIYs, if you're first trying this out, start doing the DIY and break it down how you do everything, and then hire a virtual assistant for like part-time to start doing it. And then you help them, kind of learn this winter, and then boom, they're doing it themselves. And then we're going to we're going to throw it in Premiere, Photoshop, or Canva, edit the content. And then we're going to throw it through captions. And then so from there, captions, we're going to put it on all platforms. And so YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Google My Biz, LinkedIn, and X. And then from those posts, like Instagram also feeds into Facebook and Threads. So that's super easy. And then Google, one thing with Google that I really want to identify, everyone write this down in your notes right now. Google is going to boost your SEO for your website if you're showing it you're active. So you're posting Google updates and Google photos and videos every single day, and Google thinks you're alive. You're getting more reviews. It thinks you're super alive. That's been huge for us, and we have 2 Google My Business profiles. So we're doing updates and photos and videos, like whatever post of the day it is, on both of those accounts. And that's really like where we have 550 or 60 reviews on our main account. And then our other satellite business our satellite location only has 19, but it still ranks like crazy and gets an insane amount of calls, just by being so active on it. And then track it, go ahead and track, like, okay, like how well are these posts doing? I've got a great, in the social media sales playbook, a great little content diagram that's you're kind of easy way to track what's most engaging, what's your follower count, what I want to do on these specific days, and how many interactions are we getting, and like which one get more likes, which one gets more views, how much watch time are we getting. Like those are all important topics to analyze when you're tracking the analytics. Because if you guys believe it or not, But the average watch time on our videos is 8 to 12 seconds. Like, I don't even know if we've gone over 12 seconds, on average. So, like, our new content that we're coming up with, I think we're shooting some content next week. My ops manager and my team are coordinating this. Like, the new content that we're shooting is going to be more candid with the hook starting in the beginning to capture more attention in the very beginning. Like, you're not going to want to miss this technique, or the best moving trick in the world, the unspoken objection in the room. Like, that's the things that are going to hook people, and then they watch the video.
So Austin, like what inspired you, like, for the first time to just think that, like, wow, there's some value in social media?
Yeah, like I said, man, I think like watching the Cardone team, and like you see all these influencers and you're like, man, like how do they do it? They have so many tricks and this and that. And like, I'm teaching you guys the tricks here. Like, these are the tricks. You will get better. I promise you, like, repetition, it's just like going to the gym. Like, you're not you're not gonna like be amazing at social media in day one, but you'll learn some skills, you'll learn some techniques, and you'll find someone to delegate this to that probably can add more time and energy into this, and they'll be a lot stronger than you at it. And then you just manage it from there.
I think, obviously you have this content planner inside of the
Yeah.
playbook. So, guys, you can download the full playbook. I'm just going to put a link here. Is that okay, Austin?
Yeah, guys, like, check it out. Download the content planner. This is a great one. You can make one of your own or even a rough outline. I always suggest, like, building out. I like Tuesdays for reviews. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're doing some sort of interesting video. Saturday, Sunday, maybe not like a video, but I do give my social media VA like creative freedom on the weekends, because I think like that's, they have to have a little bit of freedom in this, to do kind of their spice and, their whatever posts that resonate with them, because I think that you can get so focused on what you want to see and not really like what others want to see. And so I think that's like a big portion of like the weekend freedom for them.
Oh, for sure. So yeah, so guys, so Austin's given us permission to post the social media playbook, a link to it within the description here of this podcast, guys. So if you don't already have this, certainly grab a copy of it. And then Austin, close us out here real quick. Like, one of the things that I always like to ask people, like, I'm not like Mark to asking you to give the elevator pitch. I think you may have already done that. But Austin, what would you like your 5 year ago self? Did you manifest being in this position right now? How far you've come?
What's funny is, like, I saw this post about it, and it was like, if you could, your 5 years ago yourself could see where you're at now, like, what, how amazed would you be? And I like sent the post to Murdoch, because like we were like in college at the time, probably, what is it, 2018? Yeah. So like about 5 years ago. And, like, I remember thinking, like, I don't want to franchise Two Men in a Truck, because that's what I tried to do. And they wanted like 200K, and I couldn't afford it. I was like, I don't want to franchise Two Men in a Truck. I want to be Two Men in a Truck. And I want the creative freedom that allows me to do whatever I want. And lo and behold, like, we're now in the mobile storage game. We've got 84 mobile storage units running 8 to 10 trucks any day of the week. Just, we've got a team of movers that are just next level champions. And right now we're bringing out the champions in them. We've, like, they're self-developing. They're like showing us like getting all these reviews and just killing it, man. My team is just doing such a great job. And like, I never would have expected like this company to be on the trajectory that it's going, and like what that was like. But if I could say anything to my 5-year-old self, I would just say, keep going. Just keep going. Success is on the other side of whatever challenge, and you don't have to do it yourself. Learn how to delegate quicker, and you'll be able to do so much more and help so many more people. Like, you're doing a great job. You've got a gray head on your shoulders. You have people that love you. Don't forget to take the time and recognize those people that work so hard alongside you, because they maybe not have the same passion that you have, but they're there for you. They're not there for the company. I mean, obviously they're there for a paycheck, but my team stays with me in a pressure cooker chamber of like self-development, because they're there for me, because they like me on the team and challenging them to grow to the next level. So that's one thing I just say is like, you got this and let's go.
Let's go. So the last one is, what is 5-year Austin? What's like a quick little 5-year plan for Austin?
Yeah.
And where do you see yourself in 5 years, I guess?
In 5 years, I want to, gosh, I just heard like the Movified Big Ben's like podcast, and I was like, dude, in 5 years, I better be making 1 million per year self-paycheck. Like 35 years, I'm turning 30 in December. 35 years old, I better be making 1 million per year in my own paycheck. I better be having 5 storage facilities by then, the moving company, several locations, or probably I am kind of looking into Arizona. I did buy arizonamovingco.com or something like that. Golden Boy Movers too. But I really see myself going into the coaching scene a lot. I think that, that's going to be huge for others in this industry, and that I'm fortunate enough to be exposed to people like Grant Cardone and Andy Elliott and Louis Massaro and the Titan team. And, I think there's really huge niche for someone to do this in the West Coast. And I'm really looking forward to the Let's Go Boys group and everyone's success in this, and being a part of like a growth on, the West Coast. Because I think there's, a lot to be said about what everyone's doing right now. And I know that I'm probably going to have I know I'm going to have some kids. I know I'm going to be living within walking distance from the beach. And every morning I'm going to wake up and drink my coffee and then walk my dogs in the afternoon every single day. I'm calling my shot on that. Let's go.
I love that, Austin, because like you have to manifest that future, man. And I think it's so cool that you're already like, boom, this is where I'm going to be. This is what I want to do. And you've been really good at that. Obviously, you've already had a ton of success doing this. So I just want to say I really appreciate you being here today, man. It's been an incredible podcast to go over what you're doing with social media and to just really deep dive into it. Guys, if you have any question for Austin, I'll put some of his contact info down below. Austin, anything else you want to say to the viewers?
Yeah, guys, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an honor. I can't wait to watch your businesses grow on social media alongside mine. And I'm here for you. You guys need anything, just message us. You can always message me, text me. But I think, social media is really like a great way. Not a lot of commitment. You don't have to get back to me fast. And it's a great way to follow me, Austin_Central Coast Moving, or just follow Central Coast Moving. And I'm happy to give a follow back, and, we watch each other, raise our standards to the moon.
Awesome, man. Thank you again, Austin, for being here. All right, guys, that closes out the Moving Letters AI podcast. I hope everyone's doing well. Keep thriving in your business. Let's go. Hey, everyone, it's Matt from Moving Letters AI. I'm super excited to announce our newest product, the Simple Note. The Simple Note is an extremely simple handwritten product to get you into more homes at an affordable rate. Right now, you can get 500 of these to targeted newly listed homes for only $8.95. Guys, check out the link down below. Sign up today and join the handwritten revolution. Let's go.